If these were the American copies of these particular games, Panzer Dragoon Saga and Burning Rangers, they would be worth hundreds of dollars a piece. But because they're the Japanese versions, they are very cheap. I'm going to go through these and some other games that I have in my Sega Saturn collection. I'm your man out of Japan, Jay Contra, and if you'd like to see exclusive videos about Japanese game collecting, you can head over to my Patreon. I set up a poll and the patrons decided that this is the month of the Sega Saturn. So going off of the last video that I made, I'm going to hopefully be showing you the rest of the games that I have in my modest collection of Sega Saturn games. Amazing games, great games, but there are still so many games for this system that I have to collect and find. One day, perhaps. But first, we're going to be going with Burning Rangers. Look at that. Love the hologram on that CD, or the laser, I don't know what the light refraction, I don't know what you're supposed to call it. Here we've got the Obi. If you're joining us for the first time, the Obi is something that was sold alongside Japanese jewel case based games. So we're talking Dreamcast, PlayStation, Neo Geo CD. They were originally sold with this spine card. In Burning Rangers case, it's not that expensive because Burning Rangers is maybe a $30 game in Japan today. But in some cases, they can be very expensive. Like if we're talking like Batsugun, which can go up for $200 or more, that Obi itself, if you're at the right place, at like Mandarake or Super Potato, can be very expensive. At Surugaya, notably, they do not seem to care whether or not a game has an Obi or not. Burning Rangers, I will say, is high up there on my pile of shame, having owned this game for a while, but having never had the chance to actually plop the CD in and actually play it. I hear it's very good. That's why I picked it up. And I figured that's why it's worth hundreds of dollars if it was the American version. But the Japanese version, still very collectible. What is this? MMV. I don't know what this is. What is this? Start to shita atarashii level. No, level? Oh, yeah, whatever. Okay, so, oh yeah, here we go. This is, we got the Hagaki. This is what you would send in. It's a little survey that you would write down your thoughts on a game and you would send it in and you would hopefully win a little prize. Let's see, what did you win if you got this? Yeah, no, it doesn't say specifically what you can win. That's so strange. And you have to, so this is saying you have to put on a 50 yen stamp? What? They expect you to pay 50 cents and take the time to fill this out without telling you what you can possibly win? That's, why? Why would they do that? But let's go back to the year, what is this? 1998. This is volume 7 of the Shin Saku Tsushin. This is a little magazine that Sega would include in some of its games to sort of hype what's coming out. Original House of the Dead, Burning Rangers, a marquee title. What else have we got? What was coming out in 1998? Winter Heat, Shadow of the Tusk, Sega Ages. Then we've got Shiroki Majo, The White Witch by Falcom, Hudson Soft, Eve the Lost One, Vampire Saber, Vampire Saber by Capcom. Oh, that's a fighting game, right? I think I've seen that. That's a Mobile Suit Gundam, Gide no Yobo, or Yakubo, I can't remember, forgot how to pronounce that. Shoujo, oh, Revolutionary Girl Utena, that's what that game, wow, I didn't know they had a game of that. That's an anime, of course. Dragon Force, oh yeah, Dragon Force 2. Dragon Force actually had a sequel. I gotta find that. It's pretty cheap in Japan from what I remember. Sega Ages, oh yeah, Sega Ages is the series of games that Sega ported from the Mega Drive to the Saturn. That is Sega Ages Phantasy Star Collection. That's awesome. The King of Fighters 97. And then Waku Waku Puyo Puyo Dungeon. Never played that. I used to know someone who really loved the Puyo Puyo games. Really, man, I'm so glad I was able to get this with all the ephemera. That's so great. Oh yeah, and then the mini CD. The little CD single that has the song Burning Hearts, We Are Burning Rangers, I Just Smile. So 3 songs on this mini disc. That is awesome. Oh, I'm so glad I got this. Even if I bought this like 5 years ago and I still haven't played it. But this would actually be a great game to stream. That's actually, since this is the month of the Sega Saturn, I think I might as well start actually playing some of these games. Next up, we've got Battle Garega. This is, I think, bar none, my favorite shooter of all time. I love this game. I paid like $200 for this, and then it instantly dropped to like $150, sometimes even $120 in some places. But it was worth it because I freaking loved this game. I got onto it when I really got into Summer Carnival 92 Rekka, and then I found out some of the people that worked on that game also worked on this, and then I got hooked on Sega Saturn shooters. So that might have been a mistake because of all the money I've spent on these games, but boy, are these so good. I love these games. I cannot wait to, I really can't wait to stream this again. It is so good. Like, it is very difficult. I've only ever been able to clear it once, and not even on the regular mode. One of these days, I will beat Battle Garega properly. I mean, well, I have beaten it properly, just maybe not in the way people would appreciate it. But phenomenal game. Played it a lot. Then we get Sexy Parodious. This is something that I've had for a while. It's one of the first Sega Saturn games that I bought. It was really cheap back in the day. Now it's like $60, 70 even in some places. And it's one of those like Parodious games that's sort of like, it's really weird, but very fun. It's got a good soundtrack, great shooting. It's actually like a really good game, despite looking kind of ridiculous. And I'm going to take the risk. I didn't do this with BMX XXX, but I will with Sexy Parodious because it is just such a good game. And it's actually like not that like obscene to where I don't think this came out in America. I don't think mid 1990s America would have countenanced Sexy Parodious. But it's a recommend. It's a good game if you can find it. I love the Parodious series. So moving on from Parodious, we are going to be going to Layer Section. This is another very surprisingly good game. Not difficult to find at all. This, it's like, I can't remember. It's got some weird name in English, or not weird, but just slightly different, maybe, if I'm remembering this correctly. But again, I could be remembering this completely wrong. Got a crazy disc. I actually don't like the design of this disc, but it is unique, so I will give it that. This is very fun. It's very challenging, a bit difficult. I don't think I've ever been able to actually properly clear Layer Section, but I have had fun putting some time into this game regardless. Ray Force. Yeah, that's right. This is called Ray Force in English, or it's like the PlayStation version is called Ray Force. And then there's actually, I for no reason have this nearby, Ray Storm, I believe is like a sequel to it, or it's like a third game in the series. Really weird. Just coincidence that I have it over there. But this is, yeah, it's great. This is a really great, lots of different like shooting combinations and very fun levels, great graphics. I was actually playing this not too long ago, and I was really surprised. Okay, all right, so they're telling you don't turn your TV over because you have to remember that the aspect ratio of shooters were matched up with arcades, which were basically like specially designed CRTs that were meant to sit on their side. And I guess some of the super hardcore people figured, what if I just took my TV at home and I plopped it on its side? And it's like, oh yeah, no, catastrophe will happen if you do that. That's awesome. You know, people, I mean, man, Japanese players of shooters back in the 90s must have been one hell of a bunch. Would have loved to have been there back in the day. Let's do Panzer Dragoon 1 first. I love the Panzer Dragoon series. I have 1, 2, and Orta. Boy, do these, like, this is just like that sort of fantasy, sci-fi Japan that I think is like what I was going for. That's really what keyed me into Japan back in the mid-90s. We got something weird here. What is this? Oh, what? Okay. All right, so here we got the manual. That's when we got a little sign telling you where you can call in. Sega Joy Telephone. I don't know what that is. Okay. So we've got that. And then what is this? I don't remember this. I beat this way, or no, actually, no. I've never actually properly beat the first Panzer Dragoon just because it's really difficult to get past one of the final stages. Oh, man. But I love 2. I've actually cleared 2. Look at that. Panzer Dragoon story. Oh, a little poster. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. I love Panzer Dragoon. Move that aside. Oh, that's awesome. And then, I don't think I properly showed it, but on the back is basically the manual in poster format. That is awesome. It's been so long since I've opened this up because I think it's one of the few games that when I bought it, I was like, nope, I'm playing this right away. And great discard as well. Oh, so good. So, what a good game. What a good game. And we got Panzer Dragoon Zwei. It's like there's some weird thing in Japanese where sometimes they'll have like German words in the title. I can think of like Xenosaga, like the first one is like Der Wille zur Macht or something like that. And it's just, oh, what is this? Oh yeah, this was eligible for some campaign back in '96. I don't know what you got if you bought it, but I just bought Panzer Dragoon 2 because I freaking love Panzer Dragoon, and it's a really good game, and it's the one that I was actually able to finish. Because it's challenging. It's got its challenges to it, but it's definitely nowhere near as pain in the nuts as the first Panzer Dragoon gets towards the end. Can't recommend this game enough either. I think pretty much like the three Panzer Dragoons that I can think of. Oh boy, it's got caught. Okay, there we go. Whew. So we got Panzer Dragoon Zwei. There's Panzer Dragoon 1, 2, and Orta. And then I think there's, is there any others? I mean, there's Panzer Dragoon Saga, if we're going to count that. But it's sort of like a shooter, kind of. Oh, what is this? Oh, Soft Information Volume 6. Here we've got an anime. What is this? Oh, the Virtua Fighter anime. Buy it on video on March 31st. We've also got the Hagaki there. Is that... What is this? Oh, okay. No, all right. So this at least what? Oh, no, wait. Okay, no, you don't have to pay. You can just send this in. You don't have to attach a stamp to it. Although I don't think, I'd love to actually mail that in today and see what you got. Oh, this is the same one that came out with Dragon Force. So it's the same one. We've seen this before in a previous video at least. There we go. Let's put all of these away. Look at that. Beautiful. The orange and the black. My favorite color combination is red and black. And then orange and black. But then isn't orange just a sort of red, if you think about it? I know I'm probably going to get people in the comments saying how crazy I am, but I also love that combo. Let's put Panzer Dragoon Zwei away properly. Be very careful. Here we go. Thank you. And then we get to Hideo Kojima's Snatcher. This was originally for the Sega CD. Oh, sorry. I've actually I need to put away the Obi properly so that I don't mess it up. There we go. In there, safe and sound. Now, this is sort of this came out after Metal Gear, if I'm remembering correctly, but it did come out earlier, was ported to the Sega Saturn. Did this ever get an English release? I think it didn't. I think it's very expensive in English, or I might be thinking of Police Knots. But this is something that I bought when I first went to Japan, just because Snatcher was sort of legendary back in the day. And my Japanese was not good enough to follow it, so I never actually played it through. But now that my Japanese is okay, and I need to actually keep it solid, I'm actually going to need to play through this one of these days. Are these stickers? Oh, wow. Official Snatcher stickers. Snatcher stickers. Snatcher stickers. I'm trying to say that 10 times fast. That's awesome. I love the stickers that come with these games. So many Japanese games came with stickers. Why didn't American games come with stickers? Why couldn't they have made that happen? Was it just because video games were too cool? American games were trying to be too grown up and adult and hip? No, stickers are for lamos. Then we get Guardian Heroes by Treasure, another legendary game for the Sega Saturn. This is something that I really want to get into. I love the art style and just some of the best looking like 2D graphics that you will see. I've got this, Mischief Makers is another game that I really want to play. That I played, I tried playing Mischief Makers a little bit, but I think because I only have it loose, I don't have the manual. It is a bit esoteric to sort of like understand if you're just going in fresh like I am. So I've got to figure out how to actually play that game in order to fully enjoy it. But Guardian Hero is still relatively cheap in Japan. I want to say it's like $3. It's like not that hard to find. Especially if you're in the Tokyo area. They got to have loads of copies of this. So let's put Guardian Heroes to the side because I want to get to, this might be the big one. Well, for probably people watching this, Battle Garega is the big one for me. But this is Panzer Dragoon Saga. This is called Azul, the Panzer Dragoon RPG in Japan. Very cheap. It's like $30 max if you're in the right places. I think I saw like an unopened copy going for like $100 or $200. but this is not something you should pay a lot for even if you're buying this online or if you're in Japan. Either way, it's going to be significantly cheaper than the American version. It's got, is it 4 discs? I don't think I've ever seen another game for the Sega Saturn have so many discs. Like 4 discs for a Sega Saturn game. That is really something to tear into. What do we get here? A little poster telling you what the controls do. Let's see. Oh, there's all the RPG. Oh no, those are items that you can buy. Yeah, I like those little. I like the little RPG manuals that list out like items, and because this is back when we didn't really have the internet. You didn't really have access to guides and things that could tell you like how much like a move would cost or an enemy's HP. What is that? Saturn Bomberman Fight. Lots of games. When would this have come out? I can't find a copyright on this game. This came out in 1998. This is volume 6. Did we see volume 7 earlier? What is this? Let's see. Kinda Ishonen no Jiken something. I don't know what this is. It's a Hudson Soft game. $58 back in the day. Probably if it's like a visual novel, those for the Sega Saturn are extremely cheap. Baseball game, Sentimental Graffiti. This is actually, I think, well remembered in Japan, if I'm remembering correctly. I remember some poll showed that I think it was Sentimental Graffiti and like Sakura Taisen were the most remembered games for the Sega Saturn in Japan. Panzer Dragoon RPG Azul Guidebook coming out in February back in 98. Official guide. So you've got the guidebook and the official. What? Okay. And then we got the Hagaki here. Oh, yeah. And then we've got the Obi as well as the manual. Yes. Oh, my God. Not a ton of artwork, though. A little bit disappointed by that. I think manual should just be artwork at this point. And I'm talking, it doesn't need to be crazy. It doesn't need to be all-encompassing. You don't need a massive art book, I think, in order to sell the game. All you've got to do is just make a thin sort of manual, a standard manual thickness, and just put the art in there. And like that would sell. I would love to have games that had manuals like that. Next up, weird case. This is Street Fighter Real Battle on Film. This is the Street Fighter game of the movie. And I bought this for it's like $2. And I didn't realize it until I was opening all of these up earlier that it's actually missing the cover for the manual. I didn't realize it at the time because I thought, what a strange and novel concept. You play as the characters, not from the game, but from the movie inspired by the game Street Fighter. It's a really weird game. Yeah, see, there's Jean-Claude Van Damme. And then is that the Australian lady that sings all the good songs? Kylie Minogue? Yes, Kylie Minogue. Was she Cammy in this? I'm pretty sure she was. I actually don't think I've seen Street Fighter all the way through. I'm going to admit it here. I'm gonna take a risk and say that, no, I haven't seen Street Fighter all the way through. I got to correct that. I got to watch that movie. And we get Virtua Fighter, very cheap game, one of the biggest games for the Sega Saturn. It's also probably the blockiest. I don't know what they were thinking with this graphic style, but I'm guessing it's because it had come out originally for the, look at that fighting stick, for the arcades, and then they ended up porting it to the Sega Saturn. Isn't Nina Williams in this? I remember, yeah, Nina Williams. What else? Or is that Tekken? No, that's Tekken. Excuse me, I'm confusing my standard franchises. Oh, here's Pi. Okay, we get Akira. Who else do we got in here? We get Lao, Wolf, Jeffrey, Kage, Sarah. That's who it is, Sarah. I remember they released like the 3D version of Sarah as one of the like the Nendroids, or I'm trying to remember what series that was for. Oh no, it was for the Fig Arts. They released this, but like in all of her blocky glory. It was crazy. I wish I'd picked that up. But Virtua Fighter, I'm okay. I prefer Street Fighter. I'll be honest. I prefer Street Fighter. if I'm going to be playing a fighting franchise. Here we've got Dead or Alive. This actually might be my #1 fighting franchise. Don't tell anybody else. But I love Dead or Alive. This is actually a crazy disc where if you insert this into a computer, it will actually show you like screenshots and like CG promotional items. It's really inventive because a lot of the times when you were inserting these discs into computers, it would just like yell at you and be like, hey, why have you inserted this? This is a Sega Saturn game, or this is a PlayStation game. Don't put it into your computer. But what they did for Dead or Alive was just like, oh, you can get some cool promotional items from it to get you excited to actually play the game. Kasumi, this is back when Dead or Alive was good. Actually, well, Dead or Alive 2 was really good. Then it kind of went off the rails. So let's put Dead or Alive away. The Sega Saturn version, again, orange and black. Can't beat it. Let's go to Police Knots, another Hideo Kojima game, although I'm surprised he doesn't have his name plastered all over this game. But this was, this is another big game that either wasn't released in the United States or it was in very limited quantities. I can't remember if that was Snatcher or not, but this is another one that I picked up when I first bought my Sega Saturn in Japan, but my Japanese was not good, so I did not understand any of it, so I've got to actually go through it. Oh, don't ban me, YouTube. And I've got to actually go through this and give it what it deserves. Jonasan, Edo, Karen, Ekugawa. Okay, that's a way of making a name. Police Knots. There we go. It's 3 discs. That is one hell of a story. If you gotta put it across 3 discs. Come on. There we go. There we go. Discs 2 and 3. Great discs, by the way. Subtle design, but very cool. Then we are going to finish off my Sega Saturn collection with Nights into Dreams, which is a fine game. It's okay. I don't know if I would spend more than $10 on this, but it's cool. It's worth playing through once just to see what they were trying to do. They tried, they didn't succeed like with the original, I think there's a Sonic team, right? They didn't get it to kind of the level that Sonic was for the original Mega Drive, but it's still a fair game. And then there's also the Christmas Nights. That one is very cheap in Japan. It's like a $5 or $10 game, whereas in America, it's like $200 if I'm not mistaken, or at least very expensive. But yes, that has been Nights, and that ends my collection of Sega Saturn games. I'm going to be making some more videos about the Sega Saturn in the near future after you've watched this, and I will also attempt to stream these if I am capable. And I'm going to play everything and see what I can do with these. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you're enjoying the series of my collection. Again, this was voted on by my patrons at patreon.com/jcontra. If you'd like to support the channel and get some exclusive content, you can head over there. I've been your man out of Japan at J Contra. Thanks for watching, and mahalo.